ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुत्वेति मुक्तिभेदविभागिन् व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। नमस्ते once again everyone.
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
नमस्ते। Oh, power gone. Anyway, things will work. So we are in the second mantra. We will chant the mantra. दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः
दिव्यो ह्यमूर्तः
पुरुषः अबाह्याभ्यन्तरः यजः अप्राणः यमनः शुभ्रः यक्षरात् परतः परः। Now we will read the last sentence of the Bhashyam also of this mantra. Yadihi pranadayah pragutpatteः पुरुष इव स्वेनात्मना सन्ति तदा पुरुषस्य प्राणादिना विद्यमानेन प्राणादिमत्वं भवेत् न तूते प्राणादयः प्रागुत्पत्तेः पुरुष इव स्वेनात्मना सन्ति तदा अतो प्राणादिमान् परः पुरुषः यथा अनुत्पन्ने पुत्रे अपुत्रो देवदत्तः Good. So, as we were discussing toward the end of the last class, after completing the bhashyam of this important mantra, Bhashyakara lays down the ground for the next mantra by raising the question, Katam punaha apranaditmatvam tasya ityuchyate. How come this Purusha or Akshara Brahman is described as apranaha and amanaha in the mantra? And as we discussed that this question has got a twofold answer. One, of course, is a very simple answer, a contextual answer, which is what Bhashyakara presents. And the context he derives from the first mantra of this section. That is the previous mantra, where it was said that this Akshara Brahman is the one from which all jivas are born. So here, Brahman, which is being talked about, is the one where creation has not yet started. And before creation, pranaha and manaha were not born because they are also part of creation. We have seen these details, the entire sequence of the creation. First, Sukshma Mahabhutas are born. And Sukshma Mahabhutas includes all the prana, Pancha Prana. And Prana, Manaha are part of the Sukshma Mahabhutas. And therefore, before creation, Prana, Manaha did not exist. What existed only was Brahman and, of course, Maya. Maya Sahita Brahman. Maya in seed form. So therefore, he says Brahman is described as Apranaha Amanaha. Very simple answer, logical, easy to understand. The other answer, which Bhashyakara does not choose to present at this stage, is an answer from Vedantic point of view, from the philosophical point of view, from the higher levels of Vedanta, which is that both of them, pranaha and manaha, are namarupatmakaha, just names and forms, like any other object in the creation. And therefore what? Mithya. Only appearances. So being mithya, they are appearances and are as good as not being there. And mithya cannot create any real status for any real entity, which is the Purusha.
Different aspects of Sikh philosophy were emphasized by different sampradayas, in the sense that you would have Nihan Sikhs who wear the blue bana, wear the blue dress. They would go and fight the war. So their whole thing was.
I think somebody is listening to more than one class at that time.
Multitasking.
Multitasking. 1 year Mundakopanishad, another year some commentary is going on. Anyway, I sometimes wonder, just we spend 1 hour in a week for this class. And if you can't even keep yourself free for that 1 hour, free from all other, chores and thoughts and things like that, then what is the point in attending the classes, marking the attendance, log in and then listen to something else and all that. Doesn't make sense. So more maturity has to come in all these matters. Anyway, So as I was saying, Mithya cannot create any real status for the real entity which is Purusha. And therefore, the idea conveyed is that if Pranaha and Manaha existed before creation in their own form and not dependent on Brahman, then Brahman will have the status of Sapranaha and Samanaha. That is, Brahman will be called one with Prana and with Manas. Brahman will be Pranadiman because Pranadis are there. But they are not there. They are not existing before creation. They are Mithya. Therefore, Brahman cannot be called Pranadima. And that is why Brahman is Apranadima. So Bhashyakara, of course, as I said, doesn't choose to present this. Probably he feels that, the Brahma Vidya teaching has just started with the with this mantra. And it could be too premature to actually expose the students to all these higher level concepts. And here, Bhashyakara very carefully chooses the word Svena Atmana. Now, what is the significance of that? The significance is, after hearing this reply, somebody may argue that even during Pralaya, pranas were not there in the prana form, but they were in their seed form. Pranas were existing in unmanifest form. Well, that is our Siddhanta, that nothing is totally destroyed. Everything will be there in seed form. So, pranadi will be there in their seed form. So, how can you say prana, etc. were not there? The Bhashyakara knows that such brilliant people are there who will be listening to these talks or will be reading this Bhashyam. And therefore, he has anticipated such a brilliant question. And so he says, I am specifying Svena Atmana Nasanti. Pranadis are there in their seed form. That I am not saying no. They are there in their potential form, but they are not there in their manifest form. Like, a baby is there in the form of a sperm or a seed, but not in baby form. We can call a baby only when it is in baby form, not when it is in seed form. And to show what does it mean, Bhashyakara gives a Vyatireka Drishtanta in the next sentence. So he says, Natu te pranadaya pragpattehe purusha iva svenatmana santi tada. Natu te pranadaya. Tu means but or however. Te pranadaya, those pranas, etc. Pragutpattehe svenatmanana santi. We have to actually do the Anvaya like this. So those prana, etc. are not there in their own form. Purusha iva, like Purusha. Purusha exists in his own form, or formless rather. But pranas, etc., they do not exist in their own form. Tada, then. Ataha, therefore. Apranadiman paraha purushaha. This Purusha who is Apranadiman, free from prana, etc., was presented as paraha, superior. Yatha, just as. Anutpanne putre, when the son is not born, aputra devadatta hai. Devadatta is called aputra hai. Devadatta's wife may be carrying, no problem. It must be, maybe couple of weeks or 3 weeks, 4 weeks for delivery. But you can't call Devadatta a father till the child is born. So I hope what Bhashyakara wants to convey is very clear, and all this he is explaining for two reasons. One reason, of course, is he is laying the foundation for the next mantra. Because these things are going to be dealt with in a little bit detail in the next mantra. And second reason, of course, is that we have got, as usual, our opponents, Purva Pakshis, who will say prana, etc., existed in seed forms. How can you say they are, how can the mantra say that Brahman is, or Purusha is aprana hai, amana hai, etc. So he answers that also. So with this, the bhashyam of this mantra is finally complete. So in this mantra, the Nirguna Nirupadika Brahman, who was designated as Purusha, indweller in all bodies and all pervading, was described as Divya, shining, self-effulgent, in the sense of being self-evident. Amurta, formless, free from stula sharira. Sabhakyabhyantara hai, who pervades outside world and inside world of minds and thoughts, emotions, prana, etc. Then aja hai, birthless. Aprana hai, free from prana hai, including the physiological systems like circulation, digestion, etc. Amana hai means free from the mind. That is, free from all aspects of Sukshma Sharira. So both Stula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira are negated in this mantra for Brahman. Then on the positive side, he said Shubhra, pure, free from impurities relating to both the Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira. Aksharat Parataf Paraha, the most superior to even Maya, which itself is superior to the world. And all these descriptions are given not for visualizing Brahman, for doing some Nididhyasanam and all that. Nididhyasanam is not meditation equal to meditation. It is somewhat like meditation. Because visualizing Brahman is impossible. But by getting to know these details, understanding these details, we can cognitively understand the nature of Brahman. To finally understand the real nature of our own self. That is the purpose. Okay. Now we will move to the next mantra, mantra number 2.1.3. So as I mentioned, Bhashyakara laid the foundation for the discussion on this mantra. And I gave you both the reasons also why Bhashyakara actually included this introduction to this mantra and also addressed an important objection which could come from Purva Pakshis. So now he starts the Sangati for this mantra from where he left off in the previous mantra. He says, and we will read, Katam te
Katam te
na santi
na santi
pranadayah
pranadayah
ityuchyate
ityuchyate
yasmat.
Yasmat.
So, katham means how. Te refers to pranadayah, those pranas, etc. Na santi, are not there. So, how come those prana, etc. are not there, because of which Purusha attains the status of apranadima? Now, question is asked. And this question may appear to us to be redundant because we have already discussed this in the commentary of the previous mantra. Bhashyakara has given a simple and logical answer. Actually, it is because this is Bhashyam classes that we are going into all these things. If it is only Moolam classes, these questions, etc., will not arise at all. And as I mentioned, this question can be answered in two ways. One answer is everything other than Brahman is Mithya, therefore prana, mind, is also Mithya. Therefore, they are as good as non-existence. And therefore, Brahman is Nitya, Prana, Nitya, Amana, ever free from prana and mind. And this is the conventional answer, easy to understand. And this is the answer kind of. Bhashyakara gave actually a different answer. An answer from Jagat Karanam point of view. He gave an example also. A person is free from a child before the child is born. A father is not a father until the child is born. And thus he laid the foundation for this mantra. Now this mantra is elaborating on the answer given by Bhashyakara. So Bhashyakara says, Ityuchyate. If such a question, that is why Purusha is free from prana, etc., is asked, the answer is being given. And Bhashyakara connects the answer with Yasmat, because. Yasmat means because. So prana, etc. are not there because of what is going to be said in the following mantra. We will read the mantra. Okay. Unmute yourself. Etasmat jayate pranaha.
Etasmajjayate
pranaha
Manaha.
manaha
Sarvendriyani cha.
sarvendriyani cha
Kham vayu jyotirapah.
kam vayu jyotirapah
Prithvi
prithvi
Vishwasya dharini.
vishwasya dharini.
So first I will give you the Padacheda, then we will discuss the gist of the mantra. Etasmat jayate pranaha manaha sarvendriyani cha kham vayuhu jyotihi apaha prithvi vishwasya dharini. Now let us see the gist of the mantra. So in this mantra, the Upanishad says from Brahman alone the whole creation arose. And it says from this Brahman. Which Brahman? Karanam Brahman or Akaranam Brahman. We should connect all the previous mantras. The first mantra of this section talked about Karanam Brahman. Second mantra talked about Akaranam Brahman. Now third mantra, we are going back to the first mantra. We are going back to the Karanam Brahman. So you can take it, first two mantras are actually some sort of a headlines. Now third mantra onwards, the detailed description starts. So first the Upanishad takes up Karanam Brahma, Maya Sahitam Brahma, Sopadikam Brahma. So second mantra was at the Paramarthika level. Now we have come down to Vyavaharika level. And the creation is broadly classified into two. One is Bhuta Prapancha, creation of the subtle element, the Pancha Bhutas. The universal consisting of the five subtle elements known as Pancha Bhutani. The other is Bhautika Prapancha, the universe born out of the five elements through the combination of the elements, which we call as Bhautika Prapancha or elementals. For example, Sukshma Shariram comes under Bhautika Prapancha because the Pancha Jnanendriyani are born out of Sattva Gunas of the five elements. All these details you have seen in Tattva Bodha. I'm just repeating. So Sukshma Shariram, the Pancha Jnanendriyam are born out of Sattva Guna of the five elements. Karmendriyani are born out of Rajoguna of the five elements. Antakaranam born out of Samashti Sattva Guna. Prana born out of Samashti Rajoguna. So they all come under Bhautika Prapancha, elementals. And therefore this mantra says Bhuta Bhautika Prapancha hai. The universe consisting of elements and elementals, they are all born out of Brahman. Now, when we talk about Bhuta Srishti and Bhautika Srishti, what should be the order? First Bhuta comes or Bhautika comes? Naturally, Pancha Bhutas come first. Isn't it? We have already seen. Thereafter alone, Bhautika Srishti comes. So the logical order is first Bhuta Srishti, then Bhautika Srishti. But the Upanishad does not follow that natural order. In fact, here, first it talks about Bhautika Srishti. Pranaha, Manaha, Sarvendriyani, etc. Then in the second line, it comes to Kam, Vayu, Jyoti, etc. So, the textual order is different from the logical order. But these are all very subtle points, which scholars will observe. Whether we note it or not. How does it matter? Everything is said, we will say. No. Because Upanishad have got to be perfect. And if there is any imperfection, then there has got to be an explanation for that. Like we have got this, this Vedantic usage of some of the Sanskrit words. It's a license given for Vedas, accepted by everyone. Nobody will question that. So here, the textual order is different from the logical order. So now we have got two orders. The logical order is Bhuta, then Bhautika. In fact, these are all, the Purva Mimamsa expressions. These are all discussed in detailed in, the commentaries of Karma Kanda. And there they define all these things. They say Artha Kramaha. Arthakramaha means logical order. The order occurring in the text, the textual order is called Pathakramaha. So Arthakramaha is the logical order. Pathakramaha is the textual or logical order. Now in the Purva Mimamsa Shastra, they have an inquiry. When the logical order and textual order differ, which one should be given importance? Patakrama Arthakramo Madhye Kaha Baliyan, which is strong. And the Purva Mimamsa people have established that Arthakrama is Baliyam. The logical order is superior to the textual order. And therefore, what we should do, if there is incompatibility between the two, we have to rearrange the text to suit we can't rearrange practically the text. In understanding the text, we have to mentally rearrange the text to suit the logical order. And therefore, we have to read the mantra in that order. As I said, we can't change the mantra because it is Bhagavan Srishti. We don't have the power to change the Veda. With due respect, we will chant the way the mantra is composed. But in our intellect, what should we do? For our understanding, we should mentally rearrange as etasmat kham vayu jyoti apah prithvi tadanantaram prana mana sarvendriyani cha jayante vishwasya dharini. This is how we have to rearrange the mantra in our mind. Now, there can be a question. Does that mean the Upanishad is wrong in presenting the order of creation? And an answer is very simple, which all the Vedantic scholars give. They say, hey, listen, try to understand the purpose of Upanishad teaching. Upanishad is not concerned about all these details. It is indifferent about these details or order of creation, etc. In fact, so far as Upanishad is concerned, there is no order, there is no creation, everything is mithya. Now, what are you talking about first about Bhuta Bhautika and things like that and all? Upanishad is not bothered about it. And we have seen earlier also the Tatparyam of the Upanishad is not to present the creation logically in all its details. We should always remember that. The Tatparyam is to emphasize the reality that everything in the creation, irrespective of the order, is born out of Brahman consciousness alone. So, in fact, we can understand it in a different way also. By changing the order, the Upanishad is indirectly showing us don't be too much fussy about the order, etc. Because whether it is orderly creation, disorderly creation, finally we are going to throw everything into the dustbin. So adhyaropa, superimposition, is going to be followed by apavada, negation. And therefore, the Upanishad does not give too much importance to the order. And if you are so much fussy about the order, Anandagiri, who's a well-known Tikakara, commentator, says, okay, if you are so much fussy, you write it in your own order. Doesn't matter. As long as you understand what the Upanishad wants to convey in the mantra, which order you are understanding, it doesn't matter. So all these points, no, not directly related to the interpretation of the mantra, understanding the mantra, are important when we study the Bhashya. So we have to keep all these things in our mind. Because these kind of issues will come again and again, in not only in this Upanishad, in other Upanishads also. So we must, when we study the Upanishad, these important points and all, we must keep in mind. Therefore, whatever be the stated order, the essence of the mantra will not be, will not change. The essence of the mantra will be everything is born out of Brahman. That is the gist of the mantra. Now we will briefly see the word meanings before going into the Bhashyam. Etasmat. From this. From this means what? From Karanam Brahma, which was described in the first mantra of this section. From that Karanam Brahma, Jayate, born. What is born? Prana. Prana is born. Prana, which has got 5 vibhagas. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Pancha pranas. But they are Pancha Upapranas. There are Pancha Upapranas, 5 minor life forces also. So these are the Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana are main pranas, and they have got their subsidiaries, Upapranas, which are called in the scriptures Naga, Kurma, Krikala, Devadatta, and Dhananjaya. And these 5 subsidiaries, subpranas, Upapranas, they support the 5 major prana vayus. Normally, we don't hear about all these Upapranas, but they are all very critical for the proper functioning of the entire body system. Naga is associated with expelling gas. This Upaprana is responsible for belching, hiccups, even vomiting to relieve pressure in the abdomen. Kurma controls the blinking of the eyelids, keeping the eyes moist, protected, and healthy. Krikala introduces sneezing to clear blockages in the respiratory system and is also linked to hunger and thirst. Devadatta regulates yawning, supports the process of expelling gases, such as those that cause discomfort after eating, like acidity and all that. And this Dhananjaya Upaprana has got several functions, including regulating the muscles, arteries, veins, opening, closing of heart valves. And it is noted for lingering in the body for some time even after death. So whenever we talk of prana in the context of creation, we can include these upapranas also. So prana jayate. Then manah jayate. Mind is also born of this Brahma. Sarvendriyani cha. We can add jayante. Pancha karmendriyani, the 5 organs of action, and pancha jnanendriyani, the 5 sense organs, the organs of perception, are also born of this Brahman. And whenever we say the sense organs, we have to include the sense objects also. Like what Bhashyakara said in the previous, in the Bhashyam to the previous mantra. Isn't it? So he included sense organs and sense objects. And here also Bhashyakara will clarify this in the Bhashyam. Then Kham. Kham means Akasha. The Sukshma Mahabhuta Akasha. Vayuhu air. Jyotihi fire. Apaha water. Prithvi this earth. Which is Vishwasya Dharini. Which is the supporter. Dharini means supporter of Vishwasya. Bhashyakara will say Vishwasya means Sarvasya, of all living beings and non-living beings. So Prithvi, which is the supporter of living and non-living beings, is also born of Brahman. So the five Sukshma Pancha Bhutas are born. Then Pancha Bhautikas are born. And we have to understand that all these are born first at Samashti level, at the cosmic level, at the totality level, and then at the Vyashti level, individual level. All from this Karanam Brahman. This is the word meaning. Now we will go to the Bhashya. Okay. You can all unmute. Etasmat eva
Etasmat eva
Purushat
Purushat
Nama Rupa Bijopade
Nama Rupa
Bijopadi
Lakshitat
Lakshitam
Jayate
Jayate
Utpadyate
Utpadyate
Avidya Vishaya Vikara Bhutaha
Avidya
Vishaya Vikara Bhutaha
Namadeyo Nritatmakaha
Namadeyo Nrutatmakaha
Pranaha
Pranaha
Vacharambanam
Vacharambanam
Vikaro Namadeyam
Vikaro Namadeyam
Namadeyam
Chandogya Upanishad Mantra 6.1.5. Bhashyakara is quoting that. Then another quote. Anritam
Amritam
Iti Shruti-antarat
Iti
Iti
Shrutyantara
Nahi Tena
Nahi
Tena
Avidya Vishayena Nritena
Avidya Vishayena Nritena
Pranena
Pranena
Sapranatvam
Sapranatvam
Parasya Syat
Parasya
Aputrasya
Aputrasya
Swapnadrishtena Iva
Swapnadrishtena iva
Putrena Saputratvam
Putrena
Saputratvam
Evam Manaha
Evam Manaha
Manaha
Sarvani cha Indriyani
Sarvani
Sarvani Indriyani
Vishayanscha
Vishayascha
Etasmadeva Jayante
Etasmadeva Jayante
Jayante
Tasmad Siddhamasya
Tasmat
Siddhamasya
Nirupacharitam
Nirupacharitam
Itam
Apranadimatvam Ityartah
Apranidam Ityartah
Ityartah
यथा च प्रागुत्पत्तेः
यथा च
यथा च
प्रागुत्पत्तेः
प्रागुत्पत्तेः
परमार्थतो सन्तः
परमार्थतो
परमार्थतो
सन्तः
तथा
तथा
प्रलीनाश्चेति
नाश्चेति
द्रष्टव्याः
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 यथा करणानि
करणानि
मनश्चेन्द्रियाणि
मनश्चेन्द्रियाणि
तथा
तथा
शरीरविषयकारणानि भूतानि
शरीरविषयकारणानि
भूतानि
खम् आकाशम्
आकाशम्
वायुः
वायुः
अन्तर्बाह्यः
अन्तर्बाह्यः
आवहादिभेदः
अवहादिभेदः
ज्योतिः अग्निः
ज्योतिः अग्निः
आपः उदकम्
आपः उदकम्
उदकम्
पृथिवी धरित्री
पृथिवी धरित्री
विश्वस्य
विश्वस्य
सर्वस्य
सर्वस्य
धारिणी
धारिणी
एता च
एता च
शब्दस्पर्शरूपरसगन्धः
शब्दस्पर्शरूपरसगन्धः
उत्तरोत्तरगुणानि
उत्तरोत्तरगुणानि
पूर्वपूर्वगुणसहितानि
पूर्वपूर्वगुणसहितानि
एतस्मादेव जायन्ते
एतस्मादेव जायन्ते
ब्यूटिफुल भाष्यम
Guruji, just a minute. There is one small, this one in note in my book. Tasmat Siddham Asya Purushasya is there. I don't know, in your book it's not there.
where
Tasmat Siddham Asya Purushasya Nirupacharitam Apraninimatvam Ityartaha. The Purushasya we didn't read.
Nirupacharitam? No, I think that's a Pata Bheda.
Okay.
Because there are different texts, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Where the text which I circulated, that Purushasya is not there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Isn't it? Or is it there in my text? And there's a...
Can
anybody,
I don't know what others.
You don't have my text?
No, I don't have.
So you are following Gita Prasa?
No, I am following this Holanand-Sipura Guruji.
Okay. Because even the text which I have given you, also Gita Prasa also, there is some Pata Bheda is there.
Okay.
So that way it's okay. I mean, it's not a big problem.
Okay.
The whole thing is from Purushasya only. No? So Purushasya apranadimatvam ityartaha. That's all. Okay.
Nirupacharitam Apranaya.
Nirupacharitam siddha tasmat siddham asya nirupacharitam. Sorry.
Apranadimatvam ityartaha.
Purushasya nirupacharitam apranadimatvam ityartaha. So that's all. So you can, if you want, you can add it. That's okay. So, as I was saying, the Srishti Prakaranam, which we have seen in Tattva Bodha, is all taken from all these Upanishads. And that is why, Tattva Bodha is a beautiful text. Every seeker first has to study Tattva Bodha. Then the later studying Upanishads and all become much easier. Because all these kind of, sequence and the details, we would have already got it in Sattva Bodha. Of course, provided you remember all those things. That caveat is there. Okay, anyway. So, etasmad is in the moolam. Bhashyakara explains that as Eva Purushat Nama Rupa Bijopadi Lakshita. So etasmat eva means from this Brahman alone. Bhashyakara adds that word eva. Very important. Mantra doesn't say. So, from this Brahman alone, from this Aksharam Brahman alone, which was referred to as Purusha, Purushat, from this Purusha alone, now we may have a doubt. A pronoun has been used. Now we may, therefore we have to find what is the meaning of the pronoun. And our doubt would be that Brahman has been introduced in the previous two mantras. The mantra 1.21, 2.1 talked about Karanam Brahman, the Sopatikam, Savisesham, Sagunam, Vyavaharikam Brahman, which was called Aksharaha. Then the mantra 1.2.2 has talked about Akaranam Brahman, Nirupadikam, Nirvishesham, Nirgunam, Paramarthikam Brahman, which was called Purusha. So two Brahmans have been talked about. Now the question is, when the mantra says etasma, from this alone, alone is not there, from this etasma, which refers to which one, which of the two Brahmans. So Bhashyakara very cleverly says here, when the mantra is talking about Srishti, you cannot take the meaning of Akaranam Brahman. And therefore, logically, etasmat should refer to the first sloka Brahman, that is the Karanam Brahman and not the second sloka Brahman. Because this mantra is talking only about all the Srishti Prakriya, isn't it? And therefore, he explains it as Nama Rupa Bijopadi Lakshita. He is restating the essence of what he stated as the meaning of Akshara in the first mantra. And as we have discussed, Nama Rupa refers to the entire universe. Nama Rupa Bija refers to the seed of the universe, which is called Maya. Upadi means medium. Therefore, Nama Rupa Bijopadi means the Maya medium. And Lakshitad means revealed through. So, etasmat means that Brahman revealed or indicated through Maya medium. Sagunam Brahma, Maya Sahitam Brahma, Karanam Brahma, or popularly called Ishwaraha. This is the meaning of etasmat. Because this is a very logical thing, because previous mantra talked about Akaranam Brahman, correct? Then next mantra says etasmat jayate. Now the question will be, when we connect the two, we will all think that from Akaranam Brahman, from Nirupadikam Brahman, all these upadis are born. Obviously, it will be illogical. How can from a formless entity, forms can be born? And if you read the Upanishad sequentially, this is what is the meaning we will normally take. And therefore, Bhashyakara right in the beginning clarifies that this etasmat refers to the first mantra Brahman, not second mantra Brahman. This is the meaning of etasmat. And that is why, again I come back to the point. Studying these scriptures, one needs a guru. Once one studies on its own, then there could be misunderstandings. So etasmat means the karanam Brahman. Now there will be another question. If etasmat means karanam Brahman, which was referred to as Aksharaha in the first mantra, then Bhashyakara should have used the same pronoun Aksharat. Why has he used the pronoun Purushat? See how much people pay attention to this. He should have put easily, the whole controversy would have been solved. Aksharat, it would have said. But he said Purushat, which causes this doubt and confusion. The answer to that is, from a Paramarthika standpoint, the Karanam Brahma being Mithya is in reality Purusha only. And therefore, when Bhashyakara is viewing from a very high level, there is no difference between the word Akshara and Purusha. So he is indifferent to which word he uses. And moreover, he wants to emphasize, he wants us to remember that Aksharam Brahman alone is the reality. And the Karanam Brahman concept has been brought in only for the purpose of teaching the Srishti Prakriya. And that is why he has used the word Purushat, not Aksharat. Then the next word in the Moolam is Jayate. Jayate is equal to Utpadyate, born or produced. So from this Karanam Brahman, the creation is born. Now what type of creation is born? Is it a real creation or unreal creation? And here alone, there is a major difference of opinion and view between Visishtadvaitam and Advaitam. Visishtadvaitam says Brahman modifies to produce a real creation. This is the Visishtadvaita Matham. And Bhashyakara's argument is Brahman being Nirvikara cannot undergo any modification. So how can you say that Brahman undergoes modification? And therefore we have to understand this Brahman seemingly modifies to produce the unreal creation. And therefore in Visishtadvaitam, Brahman and the world have got the same order of reality. Whereas in Advaitam, the world is of a lower order of reality. You can recall, we have discussed all these things in so many occasions. 3 orders of reality, Paramarthika, Vyavaharika and Pratibhasika. So Brahman is Paramarthika Satyam. The world is Vyavaharika Satyam, which is a lower order of reality. And that is what Bhashyakara says, Avidya Vishaya Vikara Bhutaha Namadeyo Nritatmakaha. Avidya Vishaya means Avidya Kalpitam, Maya Kalpitam, which is equal to Mithya, which is Vikara Bhutaha. Vikara here means Karyam, product. So in terms of a Mithya product and unreal product in the form of an Adhyasa superimposition. So another name for a Mithya product is called Adhyasa, which is Vikara Bhutaha, means Karya Bhutaha. So the final meaning is this world is Mithya, Karya Bhutaha in the form of an unreal product. We'll see more in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Guruji. Namaste.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste, Guruji. Pranam. Thank you very much.
Pranam. Thank you. Namaste. So, any hands going up? I don't see any hands going up.
Actually,
Okay,
I am attending after about 3-4 classes. I am lost.
Digest. You
Yeah,
only eaten now. Now you have to digest it.
Yes.
Needs listening again and again for and digestion.
Yeah.
Needs listening to again and again, Guruji.
Yeah. You have to.
Again
That's
and
how it
again.
will go and settle in the mind.
Yeah.
Good. Right, then we will continue next week if there are no questions. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Guruji.
Thank you very
Hari
much. Hari Om. Thank you all very much. Hari Om.